Hello and welcome. My name's Beck and you're watching Beck's Crafty Nook. Today I have something exciting to show you. Now I'd like to stay on the Labubu train because my last video did really well where I did a pattern review and I really wanted to try out some Labubu clothing patterns that I found on Etsy. So in order to do that I really needed to have a Labubu. So look what I found. Now, I don't know if this is a Labubu or a Lafufu, which is a fake Labubu. It looks very good. I just watched a video. I'll put the link in the description and I'll pop the thumbnail up here, which showed all the comparisons. And if this is fake, it's a very good fake, which will be great because all I need is a Labubu that's the right size so I can test the pattern and you know, find out if the pattern's any good or not. I found two patterns that I want to test. One is all Pokemon little outfits, which would be super cute. I also found this short, which was like a little knitted outfit. I did not find a pattern though, but I would like to find something just like that. And then the last one is a pattern for like just the overalls and cute little sun hat that's kind of going around, or the overalls with the skirt. So those are the three patterns that I want to test, but we need to unbox this little baby first. So I just got home from work. I had a look on the internet on PopMart and they were sold out, and then I didn't know what I was going to do. So, and then I remembered in our mall there is a pop-up shop and they're selling like all different kind of things, like little toys and little giblets, you know, charms. And then I noticed last time I was at that shopping center that they had Labubus and I thought they must be fake. So this did cost me $30, which is the retail price. And I thought it'd be weird if this was real, because then how are they selling it for retail price unless they are licensed to do so. But yeah, let's just open it up, see what we got. I really want to get the purple one, the yellowish one, or the orange, or the mystery one, which is like grey with rainbow teeth. But whatever we get, it doesn't matter. Tax deductible, you know. It's for experimentation purposes so that I'll make the stuff and you don't have to until you can find out from me, is it good or not. I think I forgot to say in the video that said real versus fake, we'll be able to tell because if we scan the QR code and it verifies that it's from PopMart, then it's real. And if we scan it and it comes up with an error message, then it is fake. That's how good the fakes are. We can't tell until we do that. But like I said, it doesn't matter because it's going to be cute anyway. They look like really good quality fakes if they are fake. So fingers crossed. So let's do it. Latte is going to help. It's just a box, but yeah. Okay. Here we go. All sealed up. Latte is very interested. Okay, in the video it says if there's 4 holes in the packaging, then it might be real. Latte is very interested. It must smell good. Okay, Latte is standing by. She really wants to know. She likes the smells. Okay. Alright, here we go. You excited? Why does it smell so good? What's going on? Oh yeah, there's a little tear. Not looking. Okay. Does it smell good? Alright, here we go. Oh, it's an orange one. Latte. Oh, his head's turning around. Oh, I don't know. This looks fake. Yeah. It's fake. But it's cute. It's a little wonky. Look at his face. But I think for the purpose that we need it, it's going to be totally fine. It's just his face is wonky. See how it's not centered? But otherwise, it's really cute. And look at his toenail polish. Oh, it's totally worth it. And there's no code to scan at all. But he's so soft. Super cute. Alright, well, we can make some clothes for him anyway. And hopefully when we put like the little hats on, it might even him out. Oh, that's hilarious. Why does it smell weird? It's not a dog toy though. No, this one's for me, okay? Not a doggy toy. Oh, Latte. Alrighty, stay tuned. So I'm going to buy the patterns now and I can start making. And once I've made everything, then I'm going to come back to you and we'll talk about the patterns. Bye-bye. Okay, so I want to start work on this pattern here, the Labubu clothes. Can we see? It's the 8-in-1 pattern. So you get a little hat and you get some kind of overalls. So we're just going to go through the first couple of pages. I haven't made anything yet, and I just want to document me starting this and my thoughts at the moment. So this is by Vintage J Crochet. I did want to get this pattern, but something happened that she was doing her downloads as per ordered, so you didn't get the download unless she sent it to you. It was an automatic download, my bad, but now I've bought it. So I want to get that one, and she wrote to me and said I'm not doing that pattern anymore, and I guess it's because it was SpongeBob and Patrick and they are licensed, and maybe she got a warning to take it down or something like that. So she said you can have a more expensive one, so I got this 8-in-1 pattern. Now 6th of the 4th 2025, so she's actually written like up here when she created the document. I don't know if she meant to do that. I think it's a she. Yes, pretty sure. I'm not sure. Pretty sure, not sure. And this is version 1.4, so there must have been 4 other versions that she's written. So when I initially read over this, I was a little confused here. Because it's got all your normal US terminology, your chain, slip stitch, stitches, single crochet, half double crochet, all the things. But then we've got like all this extra stuff here about what an increase is, the half double crochets, all that kind of stuff. Now I'm pretty sure in the listing she did say this pattern isn't for absolute beginners. You need to have some knowledge about crochet. Okay, so I popped back to the listing and this was in the description. Disclaimer, all patterns on my shop aren't designed for true beginners. It has tips and notes throughout, but it does expect you to know how to read crochet instructions and work with different types of stitches and techniques. Please be aware, if you have any questions, please do reach out to me first before purchasing the pattern. In addition, I screenshotted this also from the listing with all the version updates. So I have version 4 where she's fixed a typo, but then there is another version where there's added instructions for the bee costume antennae. So we'll check that out when we get to the bee costume, and I might need to reach out to her for version 5. But she does say, yeah, what's an increase, and here they'll have times so much with stuff in brackets. So repeat the instructions between the brackets times however many they say. I've seen this one before. Work whatever's in here into the same stitch. Okay, so I had to let my dogs inside. Sorry, up on the couch. Here they are. Ta-da! My little dash hounds. Okay, so that's all fine. I think that's well explained. I had to read it a couple of times, but I think that's a me thing. And then it says your tutorial starts on the next page. So that was all your basic information. Then we have materials. So we need stitch markers. Sorry, this is backwards when I'm filming it. We need stitch markers, the hot glue gun, polyfill. Now the safety eyes, which would go into this little alien here, and possibly there's a couple of other ones. I think this is a little pig. I think there's a teddy bear, capybara. Anything else that needs eyes is 2mm. These ones that I use for my little crabbies in that is a 6mm. And I don't know that I've even seen 2mm for sale, but it makes sense. Then we got, it says short plush yarn. I'm going to be trying to use the Bella Baby Chenille. This looks to be what they're using. It's kind of fluffy. And like it is very fine. So they say 3mm hook or a 2.5 to a 3. So it depends what I can find. I might use, well, I guess I should use the recommended so it does fit my Labubu. So we'll find out. Each section indicates which technique to use, and they are joining rounds with slip stitch unless they say otherwise. I've read ahead, there is some back and forth, but it does state it, and I don't think there's any spiraling yet. When you see increase or decrease, you're going to be making the single crochet increase or decrease, and if it's a double crochet increase, it's going to say that, so they write this here. So there is like a lot of there's a lot of explanation about things that you kind of should already know if you've made quite a few patterns before. And it says general overview. All the variations shown in the image can be created by changing up the yarn combination, like as in the colors, of the hat, the overall pocket, or adding some other accessories. You can crochet each piece according to your preferences. Review each individual combination first before starting. So you can see it's all overalls and a hat, but they've added, like, you know, the snout here, love heart there, pom-poms, some embroidery, the eyeballs, whatever. That's what makes it different, but it is basically a hat and overalls. That's fine. And then I got to the instructions. So I'm going to show you, because I want to show you the layout, but I'm going to blur the writing so you can't actually see the pattern. So this is how it looks all together, which is fine. Nice big pictures. But all of this here is notes again about joining the round with the slip stitch and all that. But if you had read the first page, then you'd already know that. And if you've already crocheted before, you would have understood. So I think it's a little bit unnecessary. It's just all about, like, how to place a stitch marker. Starting with the turning chain. Generally a turning chain is chain 1 after you slip stitch. And it says if it's a double crochet, then it's going to be chain 2. You should kind of know that if you've made a few patterns. Oh, and then the chain 1 doesn't count as a stitch, and that's pretty normal too, so you should kind of know that. Or she could have put that in the original notes. So if you read the notes, which you should, if you're doing a pattern, you shouldn't skip over everything. You should already know that, so I don't think it's necessary to put it here. So that's fine, whatever. But we start with instructions here, and then the instructions in the red is like a slight variation if it's not going to fit your Labubu. But I'm pretty sure all the Labubus, even the fake ones like what I've got, are pretty much the same size. So I feel like that's unnecessary. So that the other problem my brain is having is we start the instructions here, like that's round 1, round 2. And then you go up here, there's a round, the text, the picture, round, text, picture, round, text, picture, round. So that's a little confusing, but I can deal with that. I think I could get through all of that page, and we're going to try that. And the same, like we can get through the rest of the next page. Then, so that's all. That's the hat. That's the hat instructions is just 1 page, and it's like 5 rounds. No, sorry, 8 rounds altogether. So that's fine. And then it starts giving you the instructions on how to make the hats different. But the thing is, with the instructions, it the way it's constructed is it will have a strap here. But in our, so the first variant is the dinosaur picture there. So see, here has a little strap and you're like, yeah, I'll probably make the teeth and whatever. This dude, there's no strap, but it does say to make it the same, and you know, you'll make the all the bits and bobs that make it a fish, but it doesn't. Oh, hang on. Okay, I'm back in my Udi. It is the same day, but I got interrupted. We had to go to the shops and do a few things. But, so I came home, I decided to go through the pattern and make it. So we just started with the hoodie so far, and I was able to make it. Now, I thought this chain part, I thought that was going as a strap under the chin. And then when I went to put it on, I was like, hang on, just move that out the way. I was like, okay, well, where are the ears going to go? And then I realized that must be for the ears. So that piece goes over the ears. And also, when I got to the part in the instructions, so it says to go round and round. And then it starts saying go back and forth. And I was like, what's the point of going back and forth? Because you do go all the way around the piece. Why are we going back and forth? It doesn't explain it at all. And there's not really any pictures. And as I was going, so I had my marker here. This is the start of the round. I did think perhaps it's going to make a split here. And I found a picture on the bee that yes, that is why we're going back and forth. It should make a split here. So I think this would be a better pattern if there was any photos of the top of the head. This is the clearest photo that we've got, and we can see, yes, there is quite a big split there. I've just looked at the dinosaur variation and I didn't see exactly like if you're doing the strap or not, but we haven't got there yet. So I skipped right ahead to the bee and I found that. So what I'm going to do now is, and I did use a 3mm hook. This is very difficult, so I've definitely like increased and decreased a few stitches here and there. So what I'm going to do is do the pattern again in acrylic yarn, just a 8-ply acrylic. Actually, I'm going to use my a rainbow yarn. It is acrylic. It's Because I'm Happy by Abbey Road, but it's very slightly thinner, so I think it'll go well with the 3. And we're going to do the exact same hat and see if it just fits a little better. And now that I understand that there is supposed to be a split in the back, when it comes to now start turning instead of going around in a circle, I'll try that out and then I'll meet you back and show you what I get. Okay, I'm back with my acrylic version. So it's like that because the ears come into here. We did the split. I followed the directions. Pretty easy this time. I got all the stitch count right. Yes. So, and then when I pop it on, put his little ears through, I think it fits quite well. So you can see the split helps it curve around his little neck. So yeah, I think it fits well. Fits good. I feel like this split is big. I feel like it could somehow be smaller, but it can't really connect in the middle unless it, even with one chain, it can't really connect in the middle because then you won't be able to use your keychain. And it does look a little funny on him because he has a wonky face, but I think it fits well around. And let me just him. So yeah, if his face wasn't wonky, I think it would fit really well, and you just get this little bit that comes around the front. So that does look like the picture, and it's pretty quick. Right, so I will say the wording of the written pattern is really weird, and well, just different, not traditional. Because even with a lot of photos, you can't see what's going on because the photos are in that fluffy yarn. So this is how it's written. I've used different numbers. So it says like round 1, magic circle, work 8 double crochet, say hypothetically, into the ring, close the ring, that's fine. Round 2, then it has like 8 brackets, double crochet increase, and then it has how many you should have, 16. This should be a times signal there. Times, you do this 8 times. And they even said in their initial starting instructions that there would be an X there by X amount of times. But throughout the entire pattern, anywhere there is brackets, there's no X. It just has this number next to it. You can figure it out by the ending number. And so, oh sorry, that was just double crochet increase. So it's just 8 brackets double crochet increase, but there's no times. And this is the double crochet increase with just the 8 next to it, and then your ending number. So I think it should be traditionally written this way. So the first row was fine, nothing wrong with how it was written. And then you just say 8 double crochet increase, because we know that an increase is 2 stitches into the same stitch. And they've explained that several times and saying that you shouldn't be a beginner if you're using the pattern. So it should be written something like that. Row 3 is typically, they might say just double crochet, that means just 1 double crochet increase times 8 after the brackets. So you do this whole thing 8 times and you'll get this number. And then in the subsequent rounds you could have 3 double crochet increase, and you do that so many times. So you could also write it, for this one, the 8 double crochet, you could double crochet increase in every stitch around the round. So you could write it that way as well. So to write it this way with no times, it's a little strange, a little confusing. But when you get used to it, obviously I figured it out. Like you can understand if you already know what's going on, but it's definitely not written traditionally. It's a little bit weird that way. And it is funny considering that the person specifically said, I will write times the amount of times that you've got to do the bracket. And it's written several times that would be the instruction, but then they didn't do the instruction. So I feel like this pattern could have done with some testing. I don't know if they tested the pattern, because I feel like people would have brought these things up. And the fact that there's so many variations, and even another version after this one that I've just bought last week, tells me it didn't get tested. So I think, yeah, that could be a lesson learned by the person who wrote this pattern. So I only bring that up because I decided, okay, yes, we can make the just basic shape for the hat. That's fine, that works. And then we should move on to just a basic overall without any decorations, because it's just the decorations and the color changes that make it different things. And so when I went there, it says in that large section that I was talking about, where it goes through all the instructions again, beginner instructions about the slip stitch, blah, blah, blah. It says round 1 starts with a slip knot or magic ring, and then chain 2 as you turn in chain. You're like, okay, that's fine. But if you make a magic ring, you know that first chain doesn't count as a stitch. Like, that just makes your magic ring. So then we go to round 1, and it says chain X amount of stitches, slip stitch to the first stitch to form a ring. And it's quite a lot of stitches. It's more than 20 stitches, okay? That's not a magic ring. That's not like crocheting into a magic ring. And if you did go into a magic ring, it wouldn't work, because it doesn't tell you which way it's working up. But I read through the pattern and it's actually working neck down. So this large chain is to go around the neck, and it's quite almost like off the shoulders, and then you work top down and you form the legs later. So I think the pattern should actually say pattern is work top down, so you sort of know what you're visualizing and what you're trying to get, because otherwise you're like, should I be doing a magic ring or not? So yeah, and then it gets very confusing. So I'm going to give it a go. I'll just do exactly as the pattern says. Obviously I'm going to ignore the magic ring instruction. I think they've just transferred that onto the next page and they forgot to erase that part because it doesn't apply. So wish me luck, we can get some little overalls to match his little hoodie. Okay, well, it's actually several days later and I did not attempt the overalls because I just cannot get excited about this pattern. It's quite difficult. I don't think it's a bad pattern. The pattern works. All the stitches are correct. I just think it really needs to be pattern tested and tech edited so that everything's correct. But I will just show you a couple more things about the pattern, and then I think if you're an experienced crocheter, I would say I'm intermediate. You can figure it out. So if you really like this pattern, I think, and you want to get it, I think you could figure it out, especially if you've watched my video and looked at my notes. You'll understand that, okay, it's 8 times whatever in the bracket. But I just wanted to show you a couple more things about the layout, and then you know exactly what you're getting in this pattern. So here's another page. We're just going to look at the photos. So this is like, they're just showing that basic pattern finish where you've got a hat and overalls and no decoration. And you can see the difference with this fluffy yarn and a normal kind of acrylic yarn, how you can see more of what the pattern should actually look like. So perhaps the creator could do like full photos in just a normal yarn as well. And I'm also, after I finish chatting about this and just showing you a few more things, I'm going to link a YouTube account and show you just a couple of photos here. There is a lady on YouTube who is making these clothes and selling them, and obviously she has no trouble making them. So, you know, I've been trying very hard not to be like overly negative, but you can see like from the past little bits, you know, that I just watched through as well, I'm feeling pretty sad and disappointed about this pattern. And I think it's got to do with the fact that it was, now I only paid $6 because I wanted to get the SpongeBob version, but this pattern is $13. And I do think people should get paid for their creations, and I do think it is a good pattern, but as it is, it's just not ready to sell, if you know what I mean. It's not at that level where it's finished and you can sell it. Like, she really should just invest in a tech editor and make the pattern right, rather than updating versions all the time. So I'm just going to show this next next page, but all the pages are the same, the layout for the variations. So I'm just going to show you the photos. So you get these 4 little photos, and then underneath that you get the instructions to do them. And so for all of the variations, you get that. And then you have the close-up picture of the bee, which I showed you, and a close-up of the wings. There's a heap of photos about the wings, and I think that was one of the things on the variation change that she said. Same with the little dinosaur. You get lots of different photos. You only get one little photo of the pig finished. You don't get those 4. The same with the capybara and the brown bear. You only get the zoomed out photo, not the photo from all angles. And on it goes. So there's, does it say how many pages? She hasn't numbered the pages. That's something else that I would do, is number the pages. So yeah, that's all the patterns. So if you do choose to buy it, you know exactly what you're getting. You know all my comments. I wouldn't recommend this pattern though. Like, it's not, I just don't feel like it's complete. I don't feel like it's worth the money yet. I think if the designer gets a tech editor, get some clear photos in just even if there's photos in acrylic yarn and the fluffy yarn, because I just think the acrylic yarn will show making the pattern better, or even if just the basic overall and hat pattern has photos in acrylic yarn, and then you can go from there. Now, something else you can do, I don't think I did mention it in this video, is to double strand a fluffy yarn with acrylic yarn. And so I'm just going to show you quickly how I've done that with this chenille yarn that I was talking about. I haven't done it in this pattern. It's for my crochet Labubu, so I'll just show you. Okay, so to make this crochet Labubu body, I have double stranded an acrylic yarn with the chenille, and you still get the fluff, but when you look here, you can actually see your stitches because that acrylic yarn helps you to do so. It just defines it just that little bit that you can actually work with it, and you will still get fluff. This is the fluff with no, I mean that's fluffier, but even if you want to start here and then hopefully you get good enough to be here, but even I couldn't do this. It was very, very difficult. You cannot see your stitches. Even with the double stranding, you can feel the stitches. You can feel where they are because of that acrylic yarn. See how we can see those? Get my face out. You can see the plaits there. However, if you double strand this with an acrylic yarn, I find that I need to use a 5mm hook. So then it may not turn out the right way. You probably could try and use it with a 3mm, but I'm not sure that it would work. So that's your options with that. So I think that's all I have for you today on this pattern. I'm not going to continue because I'm just not excited about it. And I think I'm just going to finish up this video. But I will, that's the other thing, the Knitworks pattern. I do want to buy it, but it is $25. The other thing about this pattern, sorry, I should say, is that I did not look at reviews. All the reviews for this pattern, there is not many people with photos of finished items. So that's one, like, red flag. And also, there are quite a few comments saying the pattern was not easy to understand, or I was okay once I realized what the person meant by what they wrote. So when I went to the Knitworks pattern, I checked all that. She has a video that she's made her own. Like you can see, it's a real pattern. It looks a bit more promising, but because it's $25, we're going to have to wait till next payday to get that one started. So I will do a video on the Knitworks, and hopefully we'll find another pattern. I have seen a YouTube channel who is doing the overalls and the hats for free. So we might try her pattern on YouTube for free, and we will buy the Knitworks pattern. So I hope this video has given you some information. I hope you enjoyed seeing me open my little Labubu as well. And I'll see you again in the next pattern review. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you like what you see. And check out these other videos.